This is Governor Bobber. I like good day, doctors.
George Allen here. Good day, doctors.
Ask my family doctor just what I had. I said, doctor, Mr. MD, doctor. Now can you tell me what's ailing me, doctor?
Good evening, everyone. It is Dr. Politics and Political Architecture Show with our year-end Reddy Awards. Welcome, everyone. We had a poll out there using very scientific system called Google Surveys, and we came up with a bunch of categories, and we basically, we got about 125 response, which I think is a decent sampling size, for Republicans in Maryland. How's everyone doing, Jackie?
Doing great, except for Eventbrite's tech support, which is
hold on. We got somebody that's in the waiting room.
Well, Dwight deals with that. Who wants to hear about, if you're a Republican and you're posting your organization's events on Eventbrite, start charging money, because there's been a troll just filling up all these spaces on these free RSVPs. You know what? He's ruined it for everybody. So now everyone's paying money for my events. Let that be a lesson to you.
Yep. Hold on. All right. Windows 11 is a horrible thing. It's just a horror.
Welcome to the complaining about the internet portion of this podcast.
Yes. Basically, what do you call? Anyway, so, it's been a busy, just real quick while we wait for our other panelists to join us. What do you call it? This has been an interesting week. Sleepy Joe had an interesting news conference yesterday where he said a bunch of nothing, and nobody told him about Omicron. And by the way, him wishing people who are not vaccinated to die, I think crosses a lot of lines here.
Yeah, I shared that on our social media today, on the Wire social media. And it's Christmas.
Hello, Nicole. I feel like I'm outnumbered now.
Wishing you a holiday of death and illness from the virus.
You know what, Jackie? I feel like I walked in mid-conversation as something that was probably fairly juicier than it sounded, right?
No, there was literally something Biden said.
We were talking about Brandon.
Oh, really thinks his name is Brandon.
Yes, he. I don't put anything past that crazy old man, frankly.
The crazy thing is like my dad full on has dementia, and he is so much better put together than this guy. Dr. Eric, what's up? Hold on for a sec, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think my favorite TikTok that came out of this week, though, there was one of Nancy Pelosi was giving some kind of speech or update about Build Back Better. And then some guy started chanting, "Let's go, Brandon." She just did not know what to do.
What I'd like to know is, why is everybody using TikTok? It's like I've seen it. It's like just, I don't know. Liliana, you're young,
I don't use TikTok. I do not use TikTok
generation,
No, I never hopped on TikTok.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
So,
yeah. And as let me just recap, Nicole, while you were out, but you were in surgery before, so let me just cover. We had our year-end awards. Mm-hmm. We had 125 or so replies, which is, I think, a good sample size for Republicans in Maryland. And we got the results. I shared with you guys the results. And let's do this. Let's just start from the first. Let's start with the first category: best and worst county party website. Let's us talk about it. Then we'll reveal what the people say is the worst and best for county websites. And this is to serve as constructive criticism. It's not, a slight against any county. It just says, it's kind of like do better. It's kind of like when you get that D on your report card, it just says try a little harder next time.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I can't claim to be an authority on county party websites because I personally haven't. I can't say that I've read them all or scrolled through them all.
Mm-hmm. But our viewers have, and they've picked, do you want me to do results?
Can I give a little more commentary?
Yes, absolutely.
a ton of county websites. It really does give you insight on to the character, the what you can expect from that central committee, and some of the websites I think were kind of built using the same platform, so they have the same visual kind of effect.
Yeah.
And then there are some that predate that new platform, and they're much older, kind of WordPress, if you will, and it's data heavy. But I can say that out of all of the ones that I've seen, I would not disagree with the best one that the people picked. I would not disagree at all. I think that particular website is informative. It's easy on the eyes. It's consistently updated. I think those are the three things that I look for, not necessarily formatting, but the information that's on it.
Yeah, I think current content is very important. Having content evolving. I mean, who wants to go to a website where the content changes once a month, frankly? Nobody wants to go there.
Once a central committee. Things that
look, I think that's part of the reason why the county that won the worst website is because nothing changes. They've got, if you go right now to the calendar, I believe you can still see events that were up during the summer. But let us reveal the winner of this. Then we'll talk, agree, disagree. Anne Arundel County GOP, congratulations, Jason Trott, James Appel, and all the rest of you good folks of the Anne Arundel County Assembly. You guys have been voted by Maryland Republicans and some out-of-state Republicans as having the best county website in the state. Congratulations, and agree, disagree. I mean, feel free. It's back and forth,
I'll have to go and check it out and make my own determination. I will say, I don't know if you guys are friends with James Appel on Facebook. He made a really interesting post. Hit me hard in the heart that he went to in Baltimore to Miss Shirley's today, and they told him that that the county reinstated. I'm assuming he was at the one in Baltimore. It could have been the one in Anne Arundel. That they reinstated the mask.
Probably Anne Arundel County.
So he had to wear a mask to come in, and he's like, so the issue wasn't that they were asking him to wear a mask. The issue is that they lied about them reinstating a mask mandate in the county.
A lot of people are very non-confrontational, and their employers are requiring them to kind of, I don't want to say
blame it on the government.
Right, to say blame the government, but we need them to wear a mask. The crazy thing is that you wear a mask for the 6 feet it takes you to get to your table, and then you pull the mask off while you're sitting closest together, and the server comes over and everybody's breathing on her.
Right,
it's just foolishness.
Well, I tell you, I've gone to Montgomery County. We've got a mask mandate still, and
we're gonna have vaccine passports soon. If
Mark of the Beast 1.0 doesn't feel like the Mark of the Beast. I mean, but anyways. I've gone into restaurants where I put the mask on, but when I walk out, I forget to put the mask back on. Nobody has to.
They don't care. They don't care if you're leaving. They never say anything if you're leaving.
I've also seen people inside the Giant and say the kids and safe where people don't have a mask on. Nobody says anything about that. I mean, I had to go run in to pick something up because I did a pickup for a Target, and I forgot my mask in the car, and they were fine with me walking in without it. But
all I'm saying is, look. Don't lie about the government. Just stick a sign on the door that says, please wear your mask, and call it a day.
Yeah, I mean, all the banks do that, which is funny. Banks, they all sit behind glass anyways. Why do we need to wear a mask inside of a bank?
Corinne's right in the chat. And Corinne, we're sending healing prayers so you feel better. Hopefully you got that mouth ball soup I told you to get. So many people put their dirty mask on the table. Like, yeah, it's nasty.
Well, first of all, they're putting a dirty mask on their faces. Some people haven't changed their mask in months. And what's so interesting is, prior to COVID, a surgical mask didn't make it an hour. You pulled that thing off in between patients, did the whole thing. But what you often see is people pulling it out of a bottom of a pocketbook. There's lipstick on one side, schmutz on the other, and there's
so much makeup.
They strap it on their faces so they're compliant enough to get inside of the building. And what we're seeing now is a lot of respiratory illness.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But imagine it's cold and flu season. So, this is where we are with it.
It's just as useful for me to go like that walking into a restaurant. Like
yeah, I've had to do that too in places,
This is a crazy time that we're living in. And I really wish that when we got to the very beginning of COVID that it did not become a political football, and the medical industry could have handled it, and we would be so much further along.
And here's the thing: COVID, for all time, I hate to say it, I know a lot of people have left will disagree, but I think COVID's pretty much over. We've got a handle around COVID.
Well, I'm going to put a different spin on that. I'm not going to say it's over. I'm going to say it's here to stay. I was talking to my dad earlier. For people who don't know, my dad's a physician, and he was reading up on some research. And did you know that the seasonal flu is a variant of the Spanish flu from 1918? That's what this is going to be. Nicole knows in her scrubs. So, that's what this is going to become. It's going to be a yearly seasonal thing. Get your flu shot and get your COVID shot while you're out.
We have Jackie, we have a handle on COVID.
Exactly. It's something that we're just going to be living with.
It's going to be
no different than the seasonal flu.
Yeah. But I think it's a 24-hour news cycle that's stirring the hysteria. We did so many COVID tests today for people who want to go to grandma's house, and they've been hearing that over and over again. Don't kill grandma. Don't kill grandma.
Yeah.
And I applaud them for being abundantly safe. But on the fringe of that are people who have had 8 to 10 to 12 tests for a holiday that they're not leaving their home for. And this is the reason why people who really do need to be tested are waiting a longer time, because of this mass hysteria. They're whipping this hysteria up, and it doesn't do the American populace any good. I mean, can I just throw in a little Americana here? When did Americans become such wimps?
Yep.
When did we become like these pansies that hide in our houses going, oh my God, I might cough, Lord.
I know. It's crazy.
Rub a little dirt in it. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Now, let's go on to the worst Central Committee website in the state of Maryland.
We're not going to use worst. We're going to say most room for improvement.
No, that's what the category said. You can be PC all day long. I'm not PC here, Jackie.
I knew this was going to happen, but I expect us to get a couple more categories in.
It's basically fast full going.
Okay, and I'll tell you, it's my county. Montgomery County has the worst, and I'm going to even screen share. Let's share this is their website. Everyone can see. Let me go, fighting from Montgomery County. This is fine. But look at this. You see the date for these events, August 19th. It's like a September 18th event. August. What month are we in, Liliana? I forget looking at this site.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that far off. I mean, there's some room for improvement.
Yeah.
Lily is so sweet. She's like,
I've seen worse.
They just need to get their Google Calendar plugin on that site that has all the most recent month on there and call it.
Yeah. My point is this:
Montgomery, reach out. I can help you.
and no, you don't need to help them.
Contact somebody born after the year 2000.
And here's the thing: the problem is
my Google Calendar is legendary in this party.
It is.
And I'm gonna give, and we've actually there was a Montgomery County was not alone. There was a lot of other counties that were given slaps, so to speak. Kind of like slaps.
But you know what? I'm gonna use this as a plug to say, County Chairman, this is why you need to go and reach your young people. Go find.
Jackie. When you don't need to reach young people to get a decent website. There are people my age. We built the damn internet, okay, Jackie? Unfortunately,
all right, fine. Go take a class. How to use the internet. And if you don't know how to use the internet and you don't feel like learning it yourself, go find a young person.
Foolishness, Dwight. You're right. You're absolutely right. Listen,
it's ageism.
Exactly. You're an ageist, Jackie. You're an ageist.
We're
gonna brand you with the letter A.
Oh God, not the A.
There we go. I knew the scarlet letter was coming one way or another.
Oh, that's right. That is the scarlet letter too, isn't it? I forgot all about that. A is for ageist.
It was bound to happen at some point. If anyone who knows me, I'm like, just slap it on.
Okay, so we've had our fun. Now, this is for the next category we have is the best social media, presence, what they're doing with social media. And I tell you, this is another one where I think I don't know if you guys agree, but I think the people were spot on. Anne Arundel County's Facebook page is current. It's got stuff. You can find stuff what you need. If you're looking for an event, you don't need to go dig through their website. Even though on the website they have it right there, you can find whatever you need to find. It's there. It's current. They're posting stuff. They're sharing things on there like they should, and it is a lot of people can learn from that site.
Yeah. Go ahead, Nicole.
I think it's good. I do, but I want to say that
you had some honorable mentions too, didn't you, for this?
Lots of honorable mentions, because when you look outside of Central Maryland, where people who have challenges that Central Maryland simply do not have, I think it's a bit different.
Like internet connectivity is one of the biggest challenges for like on the shore.
Sure,
broadband,
in a rural area. I think of Katie Stickle, who lives in Nanjamoy down in Charles County. And the forest is so thick, we're still lobbying to have broadband, and thank God the county is on board with bringing broadband to that part of the west side.
That really surprised me that Charles County does not have really good broadband yet, because you'd think you guys have the Naval Surface Weapons Center there, right?
Yes, we do. But let me tell you that
are they using dial-up there?
we have that. We have quite a few military bases in Southern Maryland. Two very important ones in Charles County, but I will say that those have a de-wooded area around that plain. When you live in Nanjamoy, you live in Nanjamoy for a reason. It is heavily wooded. In fact, it's some of the most dense forest on the eastern seaboard. So it's very difficult in a county where our tax base is generally our economic development to find the money to do this broadband. So shout out to Governor Hogan for getting us those broadband dollars so that we can be on equal footing. You talk about some parity. But I will say social media, everybody has a supercomputer they keep in their pocket, right? Everybody has one of these things. There are lots of people who do social media really well, and they do it differently. For me, when I take a look at some of the other, like Garrett County always has a really good post.
Yep, Garrett County actually came in, I think, second or third in our poll.
And I can't stress enough the importance of the social media presence too. And it's getting harder as Republicans, because when you're reaching a lot of, especially the more hardcore Republicans, they're like, oh, I'm not on Facebook, I'm not on Instagram. They're either been banned, right, by Father Zuckerberg or Big Brother, or they're not here for it because of the censorship and then the fact checkers. So it's getting harder and harder to reach people through traditional social media. So keeping up on the mainstream, and then you have to look at the counties too. And I can personally say I'm not really on Telegram all that much, or Gabber, but all these other third party ones is, the people who are doing their presences on there. I think we're also going to start seeing a lot of traction for those central committees as well.
And here's the thing, if you have a best, you got to have, what did you say? What's the PC word you're using? Need room for improvement.
Room for improvement.
It's
challenging. Yeah.
Yes.
Challenging.
And for that, our voters picked Montgomery County again.
Well, again, if we're going to talk about then for every central committee, what our tips are for good social media, what would you guys say? I mean, at least I would say the things that I think about are like short and shareable, right?
Yeah, I think like Kelly is, Kelly's not a central committee, but Kelly Schultz's campaign. And, she sets it up great. I can share all of her stuff on the club Facebook page. Neil Parrott had a press conference, which a lot of counties did share it on their Facebook. I shared it on the club site today about redistricting lawsuits and stuff like that. I think it is kind of almost, it's like you need to be doing that. I mean, social media is not a billboard where you can just, put some copyright infringed videos, using copyright imagery and stuff like that. It's kind of cutesy and all that, but it really is not, it doesn't give you a professional look, when you just, it's funny once in a while you do cutesy ripped off graphics and stuff like that. It's fine once in a while, but I mean, please,
$couple dollars a month, get a Canva account, or use the free one. Quite frankly,
that's great. And so they've got some great articles. I've written great articles about how to bolster your social media campaigns.
Right. Keep it short, keep it snappy, and make it something that people, people love. Take sound bites from the legislature, some of the crazy crap that they say. Make some commentary, put it online. People will share that. That's what we want, and we want that shared.
It's like And here's an example of a great one for you guys.
Madam Speaker, I rise as the mother of a Baltimore City public school student to tell my colleagues that the Baltimore City public school system is not failing. It is every day teachers show up in our Baltimore City public schools and they do absolutely everything that they could to help our children. Every principal in every school in Baltimore City now is doing everything they can. Is it a perfect school system? No, it's not a perfect school system.
It is far from perfect,
Right.
Delegate Lehrman.
No, where did that clip come from? Who shared that?
MDGOP.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, because that's exactly right. Short, point across, calls people out on their crap.
And this 40-plus-year-old put it together.
Well, you know, the
And
thing
that
is you don't have to say
Point to the
anything.
boomers.
Just let them say it for themselves, right?
I'm a Gen Xer.
You don't have to gild the lily. They give us enough fodder that
They can
just
hang themselves
using
in
their
their
own
own
words
rope.
against them is really powerful. And there's so many tools at social media now. You can schedule your posts. If you're busy, if you're a smaller committee and you don't have 48 people on your central committee, it's 9 of you and only 4 of you are doing the work. You can schedule those things. Canva will allow you to directly upload to your Facebook anything that you make there. So there are lots of tools that kind of help you be a little bit more successful. But I think a lot of our central committees are moving toward doing that.
Yeah, and if you notice, there's some central committees that have ditched their website in lieu of just having a very active, which is fine too. You know, you don't always need to have a website. You know, the way I look at it as a website is that when you buy a home, and when you buy a home, there's a lot of upkeep. You got to patch the walls, you got to replace the windows, do something.
Well, I will say you do need to have a website if you want to do paid Facebook advertising, because that was a big pain in my butt over this summer.
Yeah.
Like, I made a domain. What more do you want from me? Oh, you want me to actually build a website too? All right,
Yes,
Facebook.
you do.
I have to interrupt though with some breaking news that I got while the clip was playing. President Biden added a caveat to his contention that he's planning to run for re-election in 2024, saying he would do so if he remains in good health. So here it
He's
comes.
not even there now. Like it's like
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, you know, basically, I think what his fraudulency, what Brandon means is, if he's not drooling, or if he's only drooling on half of his face, out of half of his face, you know, one side of his face,
If he's not on life support.
he will run for office. But if he starts drooling out of both sides of his mouth, I mean, we already know that he speaks from both sides of his mouth, so to speak.
but even if he runs, I don't see the DNC voting for him. I do not see him being the nominee. They're going to find someone younger. Exactly. They're going to find someone younger who they're not going to have to puppet around and tell what to say because
but
it's obviously not working now.
But the question is, they put up an actual moderate, like a Joe Manchin dem, or do they put up a Bernie Sanders dem?
Don't even think they're going to put up a Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin would never. I mean, Joe Manchin's probably going to be primaried if he runs. He said he's already not going to run, but if he changes his mind and runs, he's going to be primaried. Here's the thing: they're going to go with somebody. They're going to go with a Pete Buttigieg or a Beto or a
because they did so well the last time.
Or what I know, but one of the squad members. They're not going to go for a Joe Lieberman style.
But you know what? Let them. I hope they do put up a squad member in AOC because I'm honestly, for the same reasons, I'm hoping that a progressive leftist wins the primary in our gubernatorial race in 2022.
Oh, that's a given.
Americans don't want socialists.
Let me tell you, Jackie. I hope Brandon runs. I hope he's
Let's go, Brandon.
If he can hear me now, Joe, you're the man. I need you on the ballot.
It can't be called running though. It's more like crawling.
Well, they're going to push him. They're going to push him around.
Yeah, it's kind of like a beer crawl.
Oh my God.
All right.
The joke is he's not going to be inebriated. He's still going to be.
Right. All right. What's our next?
Okay. Next category is best Republican County Party chairman.
Ah, yeah.
I think there's a lot of options.
We had a lot of good options. I tell you, Luann Ruddle.
I love
Luann.
Luann.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
She, She came in second. James Appel, another great chairman, of Anne Arundel County. And our winner is Kathleen Smiro of Baltimore County. She's a chair of a big county. She's done a lot with a little. She's done a really good job. And she was also Woman of the Year for the Maryland Republican Party. And I think it's well deserved. Kathleen's done a good job. She's got a good crew there too.
And it's a lot of work to run a central committee, no matter what size it is. Especially there too.
Well,
I mean, that's only if you're doing stuff.
It's a committee than it is to run a bigger one.
Yeah.
Much more difficult.
And here's the thing, and they were actually doing stuff all this year. They were not like some central committees that kind of went into hibernation, no Lincoln Day dinners, no nothing.
They just had a great Christmas party.
They always do a good job.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Aside from the Republicans celebrating other Republicans part, because that doesn't really count for much. But when you take a look at what she's done politically by reaching out to younger people, a very diverse central committee, that is where the rubber really meets the road. Luann as well.
Luann also put on a great Lincoln Day dinner last year.
Oh, that turkey dinner, chef's kiss.
First of all, you guys missed her cookout, that picnic. There was a
Luann's for the birds of table 8. We need to. That alone deserves the win.
Let me tell you, Luann is amazing.
Yes.
But I think, again, looking outside.
Luann definitely gets an honorable mention. Stephen Clark gets another honorable mention in my book.
Youngest, I think, is he the youngest Central Committee chairman that we have? Right.
Yes, he is, until Liliana becomes chair of Harford County.
Any day now. But you know what? Jessica Blake is another great chairman.
No, Jessica's phenomenal. No, I will not.
She won the grassroots, right, chapter of the year.
I think there's a lot to be said for a bunch of our chairmen that are really just kind of hitting the mark as far as pushing their. With that said, there's also the other side, a flip side of it. We also have a lot of chairmen who really don't know what they're doing, and there's that are making
room for improvement.
Right.
And,
but Nicole, I think that's a good chance to plug the build program, right? And like this, if you want to if you want to get in that top tier, it's those chairmen that have been doing that are the ones who we named.
When you take a look at Chairman Holman down in Talbot County.
Oh no, she was not Woman of the Year. She got her county got the best county award.
That was Jessica Blake.
Yeah. So down in Talbot County, we have Richard Holman, who's been doing tremendous work with that central committee. I mean, that central committee runs like a well-oiled Fortune 500 company. It is amazing. I met with them over the summer to help them with their coalition building. We had one meeting. They knocked it out. I mean, they are working their build program and living within those parameters. So it's easy for success. People always say, well, the state party hasn't given us enough information. Well, we've given you a skeleton. And all you have to do is kind of fill it in.
I mean, the state party has a great portal for counties. If you don't know how to do a Lincoln Day dinner, they've got that. You want to know how to do a house party, they've got everything under the sun there. We even have I think they've even got something now on how to set up your own podcast. Like kind of like what the Montgomery County Republican Club does with their direct line show.
Letters to the editor. Absolutely.
Yeah. We've also got in there, I think, we've also started putting lists of people you can bring in as speakers that are relatively easy to get there. They might not be the super rock stars, but these are still substantial people that have got a resume and a list of accomplishments a couple miles long.
Yeah, I think the state party has done a tremendous job of building that resource to give central committeemen and women the opportunity to their level of success. Yeah,
and Corinne Frank has just done a phenomenal job, frankly.
Without question.
She has done, a phenomenal. Oh, here we go. I wasn't paying attention. He's not going to change parties though, Corinne. Unfortunately, I wish he would.
It does us more favors if he doesn't, though, because I'll keep putting the kibosh on all the bad plans. Just until we take back the House and the Senate next year.
And but congratulations, Kathy. You well deserved.
Absolutely well deserved. Absolutely.
And again, this is another one where he had a lot of company, but Montgomery County Chairman Sully Sullivan won the worst Republican Party chairman. you know. And there's a lot of other people. He's not alone in that boat. There was a lot of other people that were nominated for that, and he just won. And I think part of the reason was the fact that he was up there and had his surrogates go up against moral perpetuity. I think that's why he got a lot of these votes. He was gone on record saying it's okay for Republican Central Committee members to donate to Democrats running for office.
I mean,
and that is
probably a whole show arguing about moral turpitude.
No. But we're talking about this is the one piece of moral turpitude. This is the reason why I think he won, because he was out there on record, against this whole thing. Garrett Zahner did a phenomenal job. By the way, another Kathy Smiro recruit, did a phenomenal job with writing of that. And I think we bring it up. We do push it through in Ocean City because, frankly, I don't care if you're a Republican and that you want to give money to a Democrat. That's fine. You're allowed to do that. But you don't join our Central Committee and then keep wanting to donate to Democrats. I've heard at meetings you had people saying, "Oh, I should be allowed to give $6,000 to the Democrats without any repercussions." I'm like, no, giving $1 to a Democrat is bad enough.
I think what happens though with our Central Committee members is that they forget what their purpose is. You are the embodiment of the Republican Party in your county. You are the GOP in your county.
And we are. And here's the other thing a lot of people forget. The Central Committee is not there to be another heritage foundation and put on policy wonks. Your job is to do this: recruit candidates, find volunteers for the polls. For now, in the old days, it used to be primary day and election day, but now for the months and months of early voting, have people cover the polls at early voting center sites. I mean, how many early voting center sites do you guys have in Charles County?
2.
Harford County. Lillian?
4, but I think they're trying to add another one.
We win. We've got over a dozen.
Woo! Yeah. You guys got 400 people, right? But I can tell you, this is the problem that I see with Republican Central Committees. Once you're elected, that sensation of being the Republican wears off really quickly, and it starts to become more like a social club. And this is why you'll hear me say over and over again, listen, I love a good Lincoln Douglas Day dinner. I've been to more chicken dinners.
Well, those are fundraisers for the parties that they
definitely need to be. Fundraisers, but you don't want to raise funds just to continue to raise funds, right? Your whole goal is to get Republicans elected.
Yes.
That's it. The parties and all that's extra. But if your main concern is raising money to throw another party, then you're doing it wrong.
I'll tell you why you're raising money. You're raising money. Ultimate goal is so you can get out the vote efforts, get a sample ballot printed up. I think every county should do this way. Why? Because I know the reason Montgomery County, we did a sample ballot for the first time in 2012. In the years past, we had issues with candidates were doing last minute printing. They'd go around, they're spending all this money. And I'm like, why are we making why don't we do it's so much? I mean, people feel like it's so much, you have people, volunteers that are like standing like this, trying to hand out a bunch of things,
Have one sheet.
Yeah, by the way. And we basically did a sample ballot in 2012. We did one for CD6 and CD8 because back then we had those two. And actually we may have done one for CD3 too, because actually we did have CD3. But we handed those out at the polls, and it was great. We've done it ever since. It's changed around. I mean, the club printed ballots last year also.
Sure.
And I think that is one thing every county party should target. I don't care if you just go to Staples and have 1 million Xerox copies of the Republicans running. You need to have something.
Or do like we did. Everybody print some at your house or at your work, and just kind of.
Hey, no. You don't. You mean their home? You mean their home work office, not at their office? That would be unethical.
Bad. Oh, we got to pick up the clip a little bit because
we do.
filet mignons with my name on them.
Okay. Now we've got best/worst county Republican club auxiliary organization, and this is we had a lot of nominations for the best. The BRC got a lot of votes. Montgomery, the Republican Club, just because we're out there, we got a lot of votes.
Mhm.
A lot of what do you call MFRW got some.
Oh,
There was
yeah.
a couple of Baltimore County clubs that got, and I think everyone is well deserved. We just happened to get like 3 more votes than the people behind us.
It was a close race.
It was, and everyone's a winner that got nominated. It's kind of like the Academy. It's an honor to be nominated for the best of something.
Well, I think it speaks to the life that the party has now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's this energy among us that I think kind of spills over the central committees into the clubs, into MFRW, into certain auxiliaries. I think it's a palpable energy.
Yes.
One of my picks was the log cabins because they are consistently hitting the mark.
They're like only a couple months old, right?
Yeah,
but
national level.
Heath has been grinding. Heath is out there every single day. Like, they always have events on the calendar. They had a great event with Barry Glassman last week that I got to miss because I had my own holiday party. I'm still a little mad at Heath. That's fine.
But he always has, if not a great speaker, a series of speakers that can speak to a variety of things. And, a lot of people who attend the log cabin meetings are not gay. We're just going to be honest with you. Lots of us are very straight, but the energy in the room is so fantastic.
And that goes to a good auxiliary organization. Or, like in Montgomery County, the Republican Club, we do Pizza and Politics, which is now called First Thursdays. We do our Direct Line show, which is every Wednesday. And we've gotten a lot of great guests. We've had and next year, you should see the guest list I have for next year who we're getting in the early days.
But what you're proving, though, with whether it's Heath's events, which are always on the 3rd Thursday of the month, or Direct Line, which is every single week, or First Thursday, it's about consistency. People are looking to get involved with a club that's always doing things. The ones that on occasion we'll throw an event, those are the clubs that fizzle out and die.
Yeah, it's like if you pay $50
membership engaged.
Yeah, I mean, if you pay money for an organization, you want to see that you're getting something out of it.
Exactly.
Unlike so you're able to get various what do you call you want it's kind of like a social club. It's like back like if you remember back in the Fred Flintstone days, he used to go to the Water Buffalo Lodge. It's kind of like that. He went there. I'm sure Wilma and Betty had something they went to, some knitting circle or something. I don't know what they did, but it was Fred's show. So
yeah. But I will say that it's important that we take a look at the clubs that are doing really well and the excitement that they bring to the table. And we are abundantly blessed that there are a ton of clubs who are doing it well.
And we should have more clubs. More clubs should form every day. We should have a new club forming, because I tell you why. Having more clubs really benefits the party because it's a feeder. It's a good recruitment ground to find candidates.
I'm going to say to an extent. I'm just going to take Baltimore in particular. I can think of at least 3 or 4 clubs they have off the top of my head where if they met as a county, think how big the club would be. In Hartford County, we have the Republican Alliance, which is kind of like the blanket club. They have almost 400 members. So by making things more combined in a county level or even a legislative level of keeping it by legislative district, keeping things more concise so that people can meet and have a goal and know what, or to have the people to back up that goal. So I don't know, form a new club every day. I don't know if that's super smart to say, but just keeping it in a way where you can still have members, but enough of them to be able to accomplish something.
And Dwight, I know where you're going with this. It's to form new clubs that reach a new audience that's not currently reached, right? I helped to start the Maryland Republican Jewish Council. We didn't have a foot in the door specifically for Jewish Republicans, Latino Republicans, gay Republicans, right? It's how do you engage other audiences who currently feel like they don't feel like there's a welcoming for them.
Yeah, Josephine Wang in our county, she started the Asian Republican. She got the charter from the RNC. It's a national organization. She's been invited to the White House several times for various Republican presidents, going all the way back to Reagan. Hey, Josephine. Then you have these Johnny-come-lately clubs, as I like to say, that really don't do much. And here's the thing: if you're a club, and if you're going to take, your dues is not a fundraiser. I've seen clubs that charge $100 to join. That's not a. It's like I remember Morton Blackwell. He used to talk about the college Republicans. He goes, "Your membership fee should not be more than $5."
That's about right, budget wise, right?
He was talking about how the Princeton College Republicans were charging $35 to join the College Republicans, and this is in the late '80s, early '90s.
My money, do something good with it. I'm happy to give you my money if you're going to put it to good use. If you're going to blow it away on nothing, or you're not even going to do anything, then I'm not going to re-up. That simple.
Yeah, so that's why people say, why is the Republican Club only charging $30 to join? And I say, well, the Republican Club is charging $30. It's not. We're not fundraising off. This is just to get you in the door. We'll ask you for money for other stuff. Like we've done.
You say, don't worry, I'll ask you for more. Right?
No, we've done, and it's worked out well. We had a very successful book event with Governor Ehrlich.
Sure.
We've got one coming up soon, early next year, with your friend Susan Allen.
Woo, yay!
Yeah, and I'm going to try and we can do that in the other events you were talking about.
For
clip
sure.
those together.
Yes,
and we can make those in person.
Would be amazing. Amazing.
All right, we gotta go.
Let's see. Yeah, next. Wow, we're going to just run through these until we get to because now we're like really okay. The worst was the Potomac Women's Republican Club, and that's probably because leadership's changed there. It'll get better.
Yes.
Then we've got the best websites for Republican Auxiliary. Evidently, Frederick County Conservative Club got the worst website. The County Club, Montgomery County Republican Club, got the best. Frederick County Conservative Club, from all I can tell, they don't even have a website. So how can they be the worst if they don't have a site, people?
I think maybe that was their point.
It's like, and for social media presence, the Maryland RJC got the best social media, and the worst was
Fisher because she's on it.
The worst again is the Potomac Women's World Club. That's also has to do with leadership. Leadership's changing, so things will get better there too. Now this is the fun category, Republican Rising Star. We've got a lot of people, and I feel Matthew is somebody I've known for years. I met him and at the 2012 Republican National Convention in Tampa. Matthew Foldy.
I'm going to challenge this one, not because I don't think he doesn't deserve an award, because he is a phenomenal Republican, but I see him as an already risen star. Like he's been around this party a long time.
Yes, he has. And by the way, when I went up to talk to Matt, he had these R2D2 cufflinks he made out of Legos, and I'm like, those are so cool. That's how
he's got the best outfits.
He absolutely is the snazziest.
Yeah. You were an Old Bay Christmas sweater to our holiday party.
And then we've got the runner-up is Garrett Zahner, and I'm surprised Garrett didn't win this. By the way, Matt beat Garrett by 1 vote. That was the difference. It's just, but Garrett, phenomenal guy. We just talked about him with his moral purpose.
That kid's
absolutely amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And he does the work of 10 people, frankly.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
And our third runner-up is Anna Dove. I've not had the pleasure of meeting Anna Dove.
She is phenomenal. Let me enlighten.
She's the Hartford County Young Republicans chair. She used to work for Mike Griffith.
Okay.
Now she has the largest chapter in the state.
She took that chapter out of the ashes after the anti-Semitic, wherever they used to be.
Oh yes, I know the guy, and I got a funny story about the guy from the 2016 convention.
We'll talk about that one offline. But Anna really took that chapter and ran with it. I think she already has over 70 members.
That's great.
She's fun to watch.
The thing I like the most about Anna Dove is that she is pretty much unconventional in the way that she engages. So instead of having your typical chicken dinner or, drinking event, she has cigar smoking events. She's got workouts. Come share a protein water with me afterward.
Absolutely. And she did that police shooter simulation event, which I still
absolutely. So she really does, kind of connect her events with things that people actually want to do. So it makes it really seductive. And she's like, come out and smoke a cigar. It's like, I don't smoke, but I'm coming. Right. I want to be there. I just want to be in that area with you. Yeah. She's really, really good at what she does.
And I tell you, I think the group, we've been pretty in agreement with what the people have said. I think we're all on board with the way things are coming out,
Well, I
And
like,
now,
but I have a couple that I want to add in outside of Central Maryland.
sure.
Table 8.
Woo!
Shout out to Table 8 fam. Table 8 is comprised of some of the most hardworking people in the party who quietly behind the scenes get it done. And
And are
don't
rowdy
mind,
at the table.
don't mind causing quite a stir at a table. And I would say again, shout out to Luann Riddell. Table 8 goddess, we're not worthy, right? But yeah, Table 8 and down in Wycomico on the Lower Shore, Julie Giordano down there and James Wynn. These are people that you don't hear about because they're not in Central Maryland.
I met Julie at the convention. She's a lot of fun. She can really sing.
Heck of a singer.
Yeah, well, Julie is moving or running for county exec in Wycomico, and James Wynn is considering a run as well, not for county exec, but for something else. But these are hardworking Republicans that had a significant hand in changing the future of Del Mar, Maryland. So yeah, I mean, these people get it done. We work hard behind the scenes, and they are really good, strong Republicans. So shout out to those rising stars.
Yep.
And now we have our falling stars. I don't think our voters picked. I don't think anybody's going to be surprised by who the winner of this award was. And then we have runner-ups to this as well. But it is Delegate Dan Cox.
I mean, if that's an indication for where our gubernatorial primary is going, then it's an indication of where our
sit tight. Wait till you see that when we get to that part of the poll question we threw in there. And then there's Gail Weiss. She has left this county. She's gone, and she was
live in Virginia.
Yeah, she does now. So, and she was the first runner-up. So if Dan Cox falters, she gets to get the title of falling star. And then we've got, and this one really threw me back, our third place finisher, Kim Klasick.
Really?
I would say the reason people would say falling star is I think that you see this a lot with, internet celebrities, right? Is you have one video that goes viral, but it's hard to maintain that level of stardom. So it's not necessarily doing anything wrong to deserve that. It's that when you're starting at a 10, it's hard to stay at a 10.
Well, I agree. I think what she's doing now, though, is more kind of in her wheelhouse of what she wanted to do before the instant stardom came. So it seems like she's having a Benjamin Button kind of political career where, she was thrust to the top of the poll, and she handled that really well.
You know who I'm surprised that didn't get, our next category is for basically political oblivion, frankly. And I am surprised one person did not get a single vote on this. Well, maybe it's because nobody knows who that is, but it's our candidate for U.S. Senate. The fact that he, basically he's been all over the board. He's been calling everyone for endorsements and their cousins, so to speak.
Oh, you're talking about I know you're talking about.
Yeah. But now let's do. We're now the falling stars. Oh, we just went through the fall. Political oblivion. Our winner is our same person who won the falling star award, Delegate Dan Cox. Sorry, Delegate. I don't know what it was. This is not the doctors did not pick this. It is the people. We call these the peer awards. Our Republican peers, and and our runner up there was Sully Sullivan and Gail Weiss. Most valuable Republican, and this I think there's a lot of honorable mentions, but let me tell you, the person that our people picked, they did an excellent job. My old boss, Dirk Hare, chairman of the Maryland Republican. Dirk has turned the Republican Party around. We used to be, we used to be like, I remember, was it 2011? You had so many after the Bob Ehrlich loss. You had all these Maryland Republicans running over to Virginia, like, see, this is how they should. It's like and now we got Virginia Republicans coming to Maryland and say, "Wow, that is impressive." There's people that we've all talked to from Virginia who were very impressed by seeing the photos of our last couple of conventions. The jumbotrons and the use of multimedia at our conventions, and Dirk was the driving force behind that. And our runner-ups here, we have his Senator Michael Huff, soon to be County Executive Michael Huff of Frederick County. And then we have our third runner-up is our own Dr.
Ryan.
And I'll tell you this: there's a whole lot of other people who got this. I mean, Bradley Lane, Garrett Zahner, Chris Thomas, they all got nominated. Just they weren't in the top three. I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, I would have put Neil Parrott in here. Neil's done a phenomenal job.
It's a good problem to have so many worthy candidates.
Absolutely.
Yep. And we're just going to run through the least valuable ones because we already talked about these people. Sully Sullivan won the least valuable Republican. Dan Cox, number 2. Bill Newton is number 3. And this is another area where there's a lot of other people that should have been in there as well. So
the people that I picked for most valuable, of course, Dirk. Sheriff Mike Lewis down in Wycomico.
Mike Lewis, absolutely. He should have been on that list as well.
Absolutely. And Catherine Grasso in St. Mary's.
Absolutely. Catherine should have been.
Well, this is most valuable. Yeah, so it's not.
Catherine should have also been one. She was also nominated as one of the women. Well, we're not there yet, but
we need more ladies on this most valuable Republican list.
Yeah.
Honestly, can I just say I think 2 of the higher up nominees are sitting on this call right now. I mean, Lily has done more than I think any teenager since Ryan probably in this party. And Nicole, I don't know how Nicole finds the time to be on calls like this because I don't know when she sleeps or eats.
Are you still in Tacoma Park at your office?
She is. Yeah, I'm still in Tacoma. I'm still in Tacoma Park, sitting in the office. It's been a rough day. We have like everywhere. 9
If you need to come to Rockville, I literally just stocked up on meat because that's all I can eat right now. So if you want a filet mignon, make your way over here.
Hot Pot.
I know. I'm going to come visit you at Hot Pot tomorrow.
It's on my social calendar.
These 2 women work harder than most people I know, and this isn't even their day jobs. Lily's a full-time student. Nicole, it works really hard at her regular job.
Saving lives.
Yeah. Saving lives on top of basically
and saving souls.
Party where
that's her hobby is saving souls. She saves lives and she saves souls.
Thank you so much for that accolade. But I'm going to tell you, Catherine Grasso would have been my first, and it's hard being, the woman in a place where there are so many people that are gunning for you, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And she's done it with so much grace and a very strong and steady leadership. That is truly impressive. Now, my least valuable Republicans are the campaign season flippers.
Yep.
Mr. Joe Werner, I met him at MFRW. He's a very nice man. But he did not have authority lines on any of his signs. And I had to kind of explain that to him, which is interesting because he ran for Congress as a Democrat in 2018. So that was really interesting. And then BJ Hall, he was the president of the NAACP in St. Mary's County, maybe Calvert. And St. Mary's, he recently flipped to Republican so that he may have a chance of winning a delegate seat.
Did he actually have a conversion on the road, or is he just doing this?
No, he just flipped because, it's a Republican area and he wants to be elected. And listen, I have nothing against people who have that really thoughtful conversion and say, hey, my life doesn't fit this mold anymore.
President Trump had that conversion.
Yeah, there are some people who say, no, I just want to win. So I'm going to pick the party that's more likely to win. And
well, we had Montgomery County, shocker, it's Montgomery County. We had a congresswoman who got her start as a delegate, and she could not win the Democrat primary, so she ran as a Republican. She got elected. Then she got elected to Congress. And she was very nice to all the Democrats. She was friendly. And you know what they did? You know how they thanked her in 2010? They redistricted her out of her district.
Well, and I'm going to add one more thing to these least valuable Republicans without calling out a singular name, because unfortunately there's too many people that fit in this category. People who sow unnecessary drama and division in the party. As my dad says, aren't you all on the same team here? I was like, you would think we're all here to try and get Republicans elected. The people who are out there for their egos, who are with starting unnecessary lawsuits, starting unnecessary drama, you're not helping. You're not helping. You're not helping us win. You're not helping anything.
You know who I thought would have been on this list, but did not even get a single vote, which might be a good thing, was Rick Amplaria.
Okay, so no one wants to be sued. We're just
Exactly.
we're all gonna hop
I
over.
said unnecessary
Next
lawsuit.
category. Next category.
Next category. We've got, like I said, we went through the least valuables, which is Sully, Dan Cox, and Bill Newton as the least valuable. So next category, Congressional Legislator of the Year. And I think people may have misinterpreted this, but anyways, our own Andy Harris, Maryland won. He got the most votes. Then Kevin McCarthy and Steve Scalise came in second and third.
Now I gotta ask, how many votes did Joe Manchin get? Because I'm sure he got some. None? Really?
None.
Because I was thinking, even though he's not a Republican, I would say that he has been very much helpful.
I hate to be Mr. Cynic here, but just because he talks a good game, he can be bought and sold like a can of peaches. Have we forgotten the Obamacare? You had
I've not forgotten Obamacare.
Yeah, remember the Louisiana Purchase? They bought and sold a bunch of Democrats like a can of peaches on that one. Remember Louisiana? She was not going to vote for it, and then she decided to vote for it.
Well, at least in this cycle, if I'm sure the Democrats tried multiple times to buy this man off to get their agenda passed.
No.
I'm not saying he should have won this award. I was curious to see if he had gotten any votes.
Well, I picked other folks. I picked I think, definitely Andy Harris, without question. I mean, that's, goes without saying. He is the last man standing, the best man for the job.
Yep.
Hats off to Dr. Harris, or excuse me, Andy Harris. Dr. Harris is a habit, right?
And by the way, this is what the Democrats want his district to look like this. Actually, no, that's not his district. That's the third.
That's both. Yeah, that's three.
That's third, Maryland 3. But,
so I agree with Steve Scalise and the American Energy Act, absolutely. But my third pick was Kat Kenneck. With that hell no vote of Build Back Better, I was like, yes, sis, yes, give it to them. Let them know what they're working with.
Yep.
Love her with my whole heart.
Okay, now let's go to the Maryland Legislator of the Year. And let me tell you, I am not surprised who our winner is here. He's a really good friend to the show, our Direct Line show, I should say. He came on to talk about redistricting. He just jumped on while he was waiting in his car to pick up his daughter, Delegate Reed Novotny. And there's a lot of other folks who were in that same area.
Sure.
But Reed Novotny's done a phenomenal job. Reed is an all-around good guy, and he's going to be representing Montgomery County soon. He's got 4 precincts in our county.
Yeah, I would give a special shout out there to Mary Beth Carosa. She's always just phenomenal.
Well, hold on. Let me get to my runner-ups. Is Senator Bob Castley and Justin Reedy.
Absolutely.
Both.
I agree with all of them.
Yes, and Senator Castley, even his fight that he led in JPR with all of the police reform, I think that alone, he needs to be very thanked for, just because he was the one to lead the fight in JPR for us. Yep. And although some was not favorable for us, we did get rid of some stuff that we didn't want. And even now he is back on that fight for redistricting. So all around, he's just a great senator.
Yeah.
And we will miss him in the Senate, but we'll see how the county executive race goes in Hartford.
Oh, I think he should win
I
that.
think he's a shoo-in. I think, So I have Delegate Matt Morgan, St. Mary's.
Matt Morgan, another great guy.
First of all, that leadership and that rage from the floor, you can't buy that.
No, you cannot.
I absolutely love Matt Morgan. Matt is a friend. And if there's ever anything that I need to happen or something that I want to do, some harebrained scheme of mine, Matt is like, we can do that. Handing out, frozen turkeys, every Thanksgiving with him and Bill Dotson and the crew from Modern Door and Equipment is a great time.
Is Matt Morgan Central Maryland or is he Eastern Shore?
No, Matt Morgan, Southern Maryland. He's St. Mary's County.
Oh, St. Mary's.
Southern Maryland. Okay. Well, he grew up in Charles, but he represents and lives in St. Mary's. Yeah.
Okay.
Another person who's not on that list should absolutely be on there, Dr. Brenda.
Oh, yes.
Dr. Brenda Cham, yes.
Amazing.
Dr. Cham, absolutely. Mary Beth Carosa, though, gets overlooked a lot. Senator Mary Beth Carosa. When you talk about the Lower Shore, she was prolific with HBCU funding because, UMES, right? Wade's Law. That actually puts some criminal liability when you run somebody over with your car, so you're not backing out of the police station 24 hours later. And wear and carry, which is very important to the people that she represents. So I think between Justin Reedy and the Reedy Report, which is, incredible. If you ever want to know anything about what's going on state legislator wise, that's where you go. That's a go-to for information. We are so blessed that our legislators are so strong.
And they have to be to fight the corruption going on that we have in Annapolis.
Oh, for sure. I can't think of one that I wouldn't have. Well, no.
I think maybe but a very small amount.
Hard pass on that, but I think there are a lot of people that this could have gone to. Johnny Motz is another.
Johnny is awesome. I've known Johnny for a while.
Chris Adams is a stand-up man. I mean, really stand up. He showed up for the Lower Shore Young Republicans on their inaugural meeting. It was storming to beat the band, and he showed up and wasn't a hair out of place. I mean, like Addie. Also, Senator Addie Eckhart is another one that works really hard. So we are abundantly blessed across the state with legislators who really just take the fight to people, and we so appreciate that. Absolutely.
Very true. And we are now at we're at our Maryland Republican Conservative Man of the Year. This is a non-Central Committee member because I figured the reason I and the other folks that are putting this together is because we have our own Man of the Year and Woman of the Year for the party, for party people. Let's recognize somebody that's not, they don't have to do this sort of stuff. And Matthew Foley won that with runner-up being our own Dirk Hare. And I'm not sure if I've met the guy. I don't know if you guys know. Tyler Williams came in third. I don't know who that is. I may have met him, but he came in third. And I tell you, Matthew, again, I can't say enough nice things about Matthew. Matthew is awesome.
If you haven't read what he's been writing for the Free Beacon, especially on Maryland redistricting, check it out. He's an incredibly talented journalist.
Yep. And then we have Dirk Hare. I mean, hey, Dirk's awesome.
He is. He's a great leader, and he gives you a lot of leeway to kind of chase your dreams. And
he also lets you try stuff. Okay. He doesn't say, don't do this. Like we've had past chairmen who were very authoritarian and, you could say, hey, I'd like to help set up a tech committee for the state party. Go, oh no, I've got someone else in mind. They never put up together a tech committee. So I mean, Dirk lets people he lets them be creative, let them, or as Miss Frizzle would say, get messy.
Yeah. Hey, that's how you move ahead.
Yeah, it is. And I think
get dangerous, get messy. I forget. I mean, Liliana, you probably know who Miss Frizzle is, right?
That was what they put on. They didn't want to teach you anything in health class. Like, watch this episode of the Magic School Bus.
Didn't she always say get messy and get dangerous?
Messy on them. Yeah.
Yeah. And Tyler Williams, I don't know him. I understand he's a YR or a CR.
Yep, he's a YR.
You guys know him. Yeah, he's came in third. And then we have our Maryland Republican Conservative Woman of the Year, again, a non-Central Committee member. And I tell you, our winner here is Corinne Frank, the executive director. She does the work of 10 to 15 people there.
Easy.
I mean,
it takes a magical woman to put on a red, white, and blue dinner that she put on.
And not only that, she's a full-time mom. She's got a full-time job as executive director. She's on the Anne Arundel County Board of Education, and she's done phenomenal stuff. Corinne, I mean, I'm so glad that our viewers, our voters recognize, and guess who? And our number 2 pick here, is this person who's, it's like
hiding behind her fingernails.
It's a carpetbagger from New Jersey. She's a refugee. I mean, that's how. We're not as bad as New Jersey, So
I know. I saw their maps today. Oof.
She's a refugee from New Jersey.
These maps.
From Cherry Hill, New York. I mean, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Folks in New York, we just view New Jersey as a vassal colony for New York.
Tri-state area is just one.
We treat New Jersey like the Brits treated Australia.
Listen, we have decent bagels.
Englewood is a very nice suburb. Just saying. Warren County. My campaign manager is from one of those counties up there. Not Warren, but it's the other county up there on Western New Jersey. Anyways, so Jackie Saxton is our runner-up. And I think this is no
Very
surprise.
good.
I
Very
mean, and our third person, I don't think it's any surprise at all, is Maria Sophia.
That is a top
There you
three.
go.
That's like
I know.
the heck of a top three. Not that
And, yeah, and then we also had Ellen Sauerbrey was nominated, Katja Bullock was nominated.
Sure.
There was a lot of good people nominated. Diana Waterman got a nomination. I think she got, but Corinne just kind of, it's like Corinne was just leaps and bounds ahead of everyone. I'm like,
I'm pretty sure I voted for Corinne.
I am glad that, people have recognized the hard work Corinne has done.
Well, it's hard not to, because usually when we have an event, that streak of light that's running past you is is Corinne. Like she's running, and she's got like
and her job is such a thankless job. She gets all the people whining and complaining about why did we leave data center? How dare you leave data center during an election year? Or why can't why is it that you don't use what do you call what's the other thing? Oh yeah, why aren't you doing enough about redistricting? Why aren't you doing about this? It's like every issue under the sun,
Yes. She's a part-time therapist as well.
Yep.
So, when the wheels start to come off the bus,
yep,
call Corinne and she's like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And that's valuable to have in the party. Without
and our next category is who would you like to see run for U.S. Senate in 2022 from Maryland? I don't think anybody's surprised that Larry Hogan won this one. But here's a little bit of a surprise who came in second. Iron Man himself, Cal Ripken Jr.
Oh, now that's interesting.
He would be a great, senator, I think, from the state of Maryland.
About that one.
And just think, he'd be a great senator, I think. Cal Ripken, Jim Bunning, Hall of Fame pitcher. From the Phillies was the senator and congressman. My buddy Chris Tudor was his intern, and Jim Bunning would always autograph baseballs when you go to his office. He autograph his baseballs for you.
Former Philadelphia Eagle John Runyon was in Congress for a while.
And I've got an autographed football from him.
He's friends with his John Runyon Jr., who now plays for the Packers, was my classmate in middle school. So my mom is friends with his parents.
So we have Burgess Owens, a Super Bowl ring holder.
Yes,
the year of the athlete.
Yeah, he's already in Congress, and he's so very generous. He allows you to actually wear his Super Bowl ring.
He did an event for Baltimore County last year, right? I think towards last spring or the previous 2020 fall. He did some events
in Charles County too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then we have, and our third person is Mr. Red Maryland, Brian Griffith.
Isn't he Mr. Duckpin now?
Yeah, but he's known as Red Maryland Brian, And
I don't think he'll ever not be Red Maryland Brian,
And I think Brian, since we don't have any credible candidates, I got Brian, you're it. Tag,
you better get filed.
You're it. He'd be an improvement to the guy we do have running. Please, Republicans, if you can hear my voice, and you want to run for U.S. Senate in Maryland, run. Please run. Please file.
If somebody calls and asks you for an endorsement and you've never heard of them, don't give them an endorsement.
Well, when there's someone that you're considering giving your hard-earned dollars to, regardless of what they're running
Kelly Schultz.
Take a look. It's worth looking.
Yeah, give money to Kelly Schultz. Give money.
Again, I have nothing against people making a conversion.
Yeah, I mean, our friend Liz Mattori, she came out. She said, I voted for Obama, but I got fooled.
Dr.
I've heard plenty of people say the same thing.
There are a lot.
She had the conversion, and now she is one of the more. She is the farthest right Republican.
Look, you see the same thing in religion. The people who convert to Judaism are like far more orthodox than I will ever be in my life.
That is true.
I'm having shrimp with that filet mignon for dinner.
God, Jackie.
This is the one I think everybody's been waiting for. The results so far. Who would you vote for in the Republican primary for governor? And the winner is, but who came in second is a bigger surprise.
Is it Ed Tynan?
First, Dwight.
Kelly Schultz. our Commerce Secretary. She blew it out of the water, so to speak. Kelly Schultz. And now this is the more fun part. Guess who came in second?
Who?
Ed
Robin
Robin
Ficker. Robin Ficker came in second. And by the way, Robin got more votes than Dan Cox by he got like 10 more votes than Dan Cox did.
Really?
And Dan Cox came in third. What that means is Robin's people were more found out about the poll faster than the Dan Cox.
Hey, thanks to be said for having that giant yellow sign. People see it.
That is true.
Recognition.
Did Ed Times get any votes?
No.
None for Ed.
What's the other guy's name in there? Another guy too?
Joe Werner.
Oh, the Democrat.
Another guy too. I don't know.
Yeah. Joe Werner is a recent convert.
And there's actually some Asian woman, I think, that's also from Baltimore County.
Thai, isn't she Thai?
She got one vote.
I can't remember. I can't remember where I ran into her, but I ran into her at an event somewhere. Very lovely person, absolutely lovely person.
Look, okay, there's two kinds of people that run for office. Okay, people to get their feet wet, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got people who run for all the right reasons. Then you have then the worst ones are the ones who run for all the wrong reasons. Oh, I'm going to take this to catapult myself into being a commentator on Fox News. And if you're going to run for those reasons, don't run, honestly. Don't be a shameless self-promoter.
So another breaking news update. The Supreme Court is taking up the vaccine mandate case.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, they were going to. And,
not a shock to anybody, but,
Stevie Wonder saw that one coming, for sure.
And we'll be sending little certificates to our winners and losers, of our awards today.
Not the losers that need more work.
Yes.
The losers just get a frowny face in their email inbox.
The Wednesday's child, right? Much to do. Well, is it Wednesday's child? That's the guy. He's got far to go. Is that what it is?
What the heck you're talking about?
No, Monday's child. The poem Monday's
child. I know Destiny's Child.
No. There is a poem.
You know what, Jackie? I'm done with you.
Destiny's Child, really, child. You are a child.
Did you say Beyonce? Okay.
Give me Springsteen.
So was this?
It's a poem called Monday's Child is fair of the face. Tuesday's child is full of grace. Wednesday's child is full of woe. Thursday's child has far to go. Friday's child is loving and giving. Saturday's child works hard for a living. And the child born on the Sabbath day is bonny and blithe, good and gay. And obviously this poem was written a long time ago. You guys never heard this poem? There's like one of those poems.
They didn't teach
everybody born on Wednesday. I
was born on a Wednesday.
Well, are you full of
second Seder of Passover of 1997?
Are you full of woe?
I think I'm a pretty happy person.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would totally agree with that statement.
But it's no. In third grade, we had to memorize a poem. And that was one of the poems. That was one. And then there was the other one. Because back when I was a child, TV stations would sign off, right? And there was this, they would do this, they do the national anthem. And then a guy, I don't know who did the voiceover, but it was basically High Flight. And that's the poem about, oh, high I've slipped the surely bounds of earth and dance the skies of laughter of silver wings. And it closes with, the high untrespassed and sanctity of space, put out my hand and touch the face of God. That was, I don't even think kids could say that poem today.
I know. I'll tell you what, though, Dwight, I might have to start clearing my Friday nights. My grandfather called me the other day. He goes, how come you're not on the Dr. Politics show anymore?
Well, it's funny. Jason's grandmother watches the show. And I tell Jason, I go, she's probably wondering, why is my grandson not on the show? But let's do, we got a couple minutes left. Final thoughts, everyone. Let's just go through Christmas greetings, wishes, whatever. And before we do that, I just want to get everyone's 2 cents on this. This is something that I've been fooling around with when I should have been doing real work.
It's the club website, the award-winning club website.
No, this is the one to be.
The 2022 award-winning club website.
I don't know if we'll win it. I don't know if we'll win it in 2022.
I like the Christmas hat logo. I think that's cute.
Yeah, I've got that right now. That's because I pulled that. That's pulling from. I'll show you where that's pulling from. But there you go. See, it pulls from here. I mean, this is still a really nice site. I mean, I think it's hard to beat this, but I'm getting tired of looking at it, so I do want to change.
Cool.
So, anyways, final thoughts, real quick. Christmas wishes, New Year's greetings, whatever you want to do, real quick. We can have fun with this, or you can be serious if you want.
No,
Let's start with you, Liliana. Final thoughts.
I mean, I think it's been a phenomenal year for Republicans, not just in our state, but even around the country. And keeping up this momentum, 2022 will be a great year. So take a break for the holidays. Real work starts right after.
That's right. Jackie, final thoughts.
Yeah, I want to echo what Lily said. It was a great year for Republicans in 2021. I think it's going to spell even better things for 2022. I'm just absolutely thrilled about what we have coming up. It's a really exciting time to be a Republican. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we accomplish next year.
Mm-hmm. I like our momentum. I like what we have going now. I like that feeling in the air of togetherness that I think is only complemented by the holiday season. Mm-hmm. So Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah late, right? And happy early joyous Kwanzaa. And Festivus for the rest of you all who don't celebrate. Everybody has their thing.
That's for the Seinfeld class, right?
Right.
We called it Chinese food for us Jews on the 25th.
I think there's a lot to be said for being a better American. And I think coming out of this cycle with this current administration, we're going to see a lot of people turning back to the flag. And there is no greater gift than that.
Mm-hmm. My final thoughts, I've got a couple. First one I want to do is this goes out to the Maryland Department of Environment, Ben Grumples. Why is it that your people are harassing a Mennonite dairy farmer in Washington County on a Sunday by coming out on a Sunday and to harass the farmer? He's a Mennonite. He's not going to be at the farm. He's not going to be working. He's at church. Mm-hmm. How dare you guys weaponize the Maryland Department of Environment against a farmer in Western Maryland? And, shame on you, Ben Grumbles. Take a look what's going down in your department, what your little inspectors are doing, frankly.
Well, that's a nice positive note to end on.
They seem to have a lot of free time on their hands. No, it's just last week we went out to the farm and met the guy, and it's a shame what they're doing, frankly. Yeah. But it is a very state that they got robots that milk the cows. It's in the old days, you do it by hand, then they had the machines, you hooked them up. This one, the cow just walks over, the robot cleans the udders, then it connects to them and starts milking them, and then the cow walks away and the next cow comes. And this guy's like 4 or 5 robots that do that. That's modern dairy farming. But anyways, now final thoughts. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy New Year. We are probably not going to do another show until next year, but we've got some great shows next year. Next year, we're also going to be we're going to probably be doing something live for the inauguration of Governor Youngkin in Virginia, and probably going out for the inaugural ball out there in Virginia. So we may be missing a show early part of January because it is a Friday night, I believe, the inaugural ball. And then we've got a bunch of for the other show, we have the Direct Line show, which is the club show. This is not affiliated with the club in no shape, way, or form. We've got some great guests lined up for next year. We've got a lot of people coming on to talk about campaigns, campaign strategies, and the who's. We got the Chesapeake governors coming up to kind of look forward at. And then we've got Governor Walker coming on next year. We've got Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith of Mississippi coming on. And it's going to be an action-packed year. And a note for any county looking for a Lincoln Day dinner speaker, give me a shout. I know a few people we could get relatively easy, and they'd love to come and speak in Maryland. And with that, everyone, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Bye-bye. And hold on a second.